Hi, Csaba here, back with another proven sales letter breakdown video. We're on the 31st day of this challenge. I'm doing this for 90 days at least. And today I got another Gary Halbert promotion for you. I'm sure that at this point you probably noticed that I love Gary Halbert, and it's no accident. It's by no accident. I love his style. I love how effortlessly he writes and how he just has this amazing ability to talk to people directly, right to their emotional core, okay? No fluffing around, no nothing like that. Gary Halbert was a true OG copywriter, and we can always, you can do way worse things than to learn from him as well. Regardless if you want to become a copywriter or not, or if you are already, there's something here for everybody. Something about the human psychology, the core of it, that Gary was a master of. So today we got a cool little promotion that he did. It's pretty short actually, so we can go through it pretty quickly. But I still wanted to do it because it's just punchy, effective, just like a nice sniper bullet or something. So this one was written in 1974. This is the date. Yes. So this one again is quite old, but as you read it, probably you would also be persuaded by it if you were inside the target audience. So the headline goes, "How to get what the US government owes you." So if you watched my videos on fascinations and bullets before, especially from Mel Martin, then you know this already. If you haven't watched those videos, just know that this is basically a how-to fascination, which can also be used as a headline as well. And it hits hard because it has like this how-to component, and also like it flips the script. It's like what the US government owes you. So a lot of people think like, so I know that, I'm paying a lot of taxes, and I'm sure that, they're stealing it away from me or something, or like they're using it for things that I don't really agree with or something like that. And this way it kind of flips the script. It's like, oh, can I get money from the US government? Isn't it just like this big Uncle Sam who like takes away and doesn't really give that much in return? Because people hate taxes, okay? Even though they're useful and they have their place in society, most people hate paying their taxes, okay? Especially the middle class and the lower middle class that I think this ad is aimed at. And notice how it looks like almost like a newspaper article, so it doesn't really like scream that it's an advertisement, even though it's written there at the top that it's an ad. But most people don't really notice it when they're just skimming a newspaper, it's still effective. So we have the headline like that, and then we have a subhead under it which says 320 almost secret ways to get something back for your tax dollars right away. So again, for this target audience, like lower, let's say middle class, especially in those times, it has specifics, so it's credible. It has almost secret, which means that it's a secret, but it adds even more intrigue to the whole thing. To get back your tax dollars right away. So get back your tax dollars, that's the the main benefit, and right away it just creates like an instant effect to it. It's like quick, you can get money quick. That's the whole message with it, and we all know that people love to like make money fast or something like that. It still works. It always worked with people. So I'm just gonna read you the first few paragraphs because I think it's amazing, and I think it's the best part of this ad is the first few paragraphs. So it goes like this: "Dear taxpayer, what do you get?" And I love this amazing philosophical question that immediately triggers people. A lot of people have anger and resentment towards the government, towards paying taxes, and this just validates their already existing beliefs that they're getting screwed over. So like, what do you get? And then, and this is genius, I think, it creates an us versus them dynamic. So it says, "The poor get federal housing, food stamps, and other welfare benefits. The rich get oil depletion allowances, low interest rate loans, and expense accounts. What do you get?" It's so powerful. It's just repeated for more effect. And then Gary goes on to say, "The answer to that one is easy. You get to pay taxes. Isn't that nice? It is a bit depressing, isn't it? to work so hard for your money and then each year give Uncle Sam a bigger and bigger share of it. So it's amazing. It's one of the best leads, one of my favorite leads actually that I recently read, and I'm doing these videos daily. And by the way, if you enjoy watching these videos and you want to be the first to see when I release a new one, then make sure to subscribe to the channel right now and to also hit the little notification bell, because that way whenever I release a new video, you will be the first to know when that happens. Also, leave a like under this video if you like it as well. So it's just a great lead. It starts with a philosophical question. It immediately establishes this us versus them mentality that's often needed. You need to trigger emotions in people in order, if you want to sell them something. Then repeat it, the same question, and then this just appeals to a very, very strong mass emotion, and it triggers aggression and resentment towards the government. But then Gary hints at the solution, what can you do about it? And then it immediately positions other solutions as inferior by saying that, well, you could always cheat or move to another country. So obviously some people might consider it, they won't do it, but they might consider it. But it's a very smart thing to bring these up, because it acts as objection handling. It positions this specific product higher above those because it's just superior. So then Gary talks more about these things, and he basically says that, I want to make sure that you get every penny's worth of government benefits that your hard-earned dollars are paying for. So he positions himself as this champion of the reader, who's against corrupt, government officials or something. A lot of people believe this, at least. And then he went on and basically collected a bunch of secrets that the common man can also use to get more money back for his taxes. And then he says millions of Americans just like you are already collecting them. So this implies social proof, millions of Americans just like you, and it causes people to feel oh, so I didn't know about this, is it really possible to get more money? And Gary says, yeah, sure, just take a look at these cool benefits. And then he lists a bunch of different things that trigger people's greed glands. And this is something that I think, to the best of my knowledge, Gary came up with, greed glands. So basically these tease things that people are interested in and they want to get more money for, let's say. So how to and these are bullets, basically bullets/benefits. How to get $5,000 in government loans. So these also qualify more and more people. So if somebody is interested in getting a loan, then they can get a loan, no problem. If somebody is interested in getting a scholarship, well, there's an option for that. If somebody wants to save money, well, you have an option for that as well. But we also have bullets for vacation hideaways, how to collect Social Security before your 60s, employment assistance, free help from the U.S. Secret Service to counter forged checks. This just seems wow, it's interesting. And we have some nice specifics with these bullets, various things that our target audience might be interested in, free this, free that, free that. So this promotion has a very strong element of greed to it. It tries to hook people emotionally who want more free stuff, who want basically money to fall into their lap. That's what it is at the end of the day. And then for the rest of the bullets, just a bunch of other nice, free stuff that they can get. Free this, free that, free government land. What? That sounds interesting. And then after the bullets, he basically says, a person could fill an entire report just listing little-known government benefits that are available to every U.S. citizen. So this implies two things. First of all, that there's a secret that not many people know about, but they are available to every U.S. citizen. But at the same time, every U.S. citizen doesn't know about it. So what's with that? And I think it's a great sentence to have, because it teases the secret aspect, but it's still available for everybody. That's what it's saying. And After it, Gary mentions that, he compiled a special report called How to Get What the US Government Owes You, and it has 320 secrets. And basically, it's a step-by-step system, not just information. And I really like how he dimensionalizes these things by saying that, but it doesn't just list them, mind you. It tells you how to get them. It tells you how to qualify, who to contact, including all the necessary addresses, and what to say. So everything that people would need to get this. So it's positioned as free money, okay? Free money that you have to do a little bit of work for. And then, think about it, guys, this was written in 1974, so almost 50 years ago, like 48 years ago, if I calculated it correctly. And Gary already does something like price anchoring. So it's, I was thinking of doing an edition for $9, but actually, today, because today only, just for you, I'm gonna give it to you for $3 as not a hard copy book, but you still got the same information. And there's also a reason why behind the copy and the purpose why he created it. Basically, he's positioning himself as this everyday man's champion, against the corrupt government officials and Wall Street guys and something like that. So basically, he's like Prometheus, okay? He went on to the gods, stole fire, and brought it to people. So it's just like Prometheus, and he's willing to give it to you for $3. So it kind of seems like a no-brainer. And then he also gives a little bit of scarcity by saying, and it's natural scarcity. It sounds logical that, I wanted to do a test with this, and then because of that, there's only a small batch available. So it's a small batch, and it has scarcity. It has another reason why element in the first PS that basically makes people feel like, this makes sense. So basically, Gary just says, if you don't take advantage of these benefits, you are only cheating yourself. After all, you've already paid for them. So order today and see for yourself the hundreds of free and inexpensive things the government has for you and your family. So it's just like you've already paid for these, so why not make the most of it? And it's a psychological fact that people don't want to lose money. Like, they're much more receptive to the messaging of losing money, of avoiding losing money, than to gain money. And with this one, he also speaks to those people who are more interested in that, because hey, you already spend this money, so why not spend it wisely? Why not get something back out of it? Not just have the government decide for you, so you get the control back. And then we have another PPS, which basically paints the dream of you becoming an insider. And then here's just a glimpse of the invaluable information you'll get. 39 great chapters. So bunch of free. So it's obvious that this is aimed at people who like free. Not everybody likes free. If you're trying to sell something more luxury, then you shouldn't use free at all. But this does, and it's quite alluring to the right target audience. And then apart from all this, we have a price anchor, so the price is cheap. We have a bunch of stuff that you get, a bunch of free stuff that you get, and it's it also makes sense why Gary is doing this. But no, he also gives you 2 more extra bonuses for free, 2 reports, how to complain to the US government, which again pre-validates a lot of already existing emotions that people have, and directory of regional and local addresses of US government agencies. So I don't know. I mean, it's not for me, but that also might be useful for people. But the first bonus definitely, I think, speaks to a lot of people. And then we have the order form, which two things happen here. First of all, and I really love this, that this call to action is positioned from a first person perspective, by saying, "Dear Gary, enclosed fine $3. Please send me my copy of How to Get What the US Government Owes You, plus the good news hotline for the next year free." Oh, because there's also another bonus that I forgot to mention here, is that you also get updates for a year for this report, so that you can also be an insider. So it really is kind of like an irresistible offer. And then I understand that if I'm not satisfied, I may return the book for a full refund of my $3. So there's also money back guarantee. So it's an irresistible offer, guys. What else do you want from something like this? You don't have to like overinflate it. It's the perfect ad for this type of offer because it's not so long. It has a very strong hook. It triggers people's greed glands. It gives a bunch of free stuff away. It teases a great stuff. It explains why, you know, it's so cheap, and it also like gives you a bunch of cool bonuses. So, and it's also written from a first person perspective, the call to action itself. And at the end, Gary even gives them a chance to like increase the average order value that people create. So like saying, here's an extra $3, send me another copy of the book and the free reports to give as a gift. So, you know, like all it takes is one more sentence. Why not do this? Like 10 or 20% of people will take him up on this offer. So boom, he just boosted sales 20% just by saying one extra sentence. So really smart, really like great job by Gary as always. I just like his style. It's so unique, and it's effortless, guys. So as you read this, and I encourage you to hand copy this. It's not long at all, and you don't necessarily have to hand copy these free parts here, but at least the hook and this last part, you'll see like everything just makes sense. Like if you were to like give this ad to a person in a bar at a Friday night drinking beers or something, if you were to give this to a trucker or a lawyer or anybody, basically, maybe not a lawyer, but like someone who's like working class, let's say, wow, they would definitely understand it and they would want it. And that's the essential quality of a good ad, of a good piece of copywriting, is that people don't say, yeah, this sounds so intellectual. They say like, wow, so can you get me one of those? If they say that, it means the copy is working. And I think this is definitely working. So yeah, another great example by Gary Halbert. And if you enjoyed it, then make sure to like the video and also share it with others as well, so that, you know, other people can learn these secrets and stuff as well. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you, and see you in the next one.